Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Hitting season, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2DRadio.com. We're live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios. BMW of Atlantic City. Roughback 17 in the Parkway. Find them online, BMW of AtlanticCity.com. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Gibson Mayer, LLC. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Renone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Dan McGuckin in the house.
Danny boy.
Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. Dan Wrights for A2D. Fucking savage.
Yeah.
Gets right up in people. Listen, we're talking Flyers hot, Sixers hot. We'll answer any Birds questions because what we do. You know what I mean? We're not running from the Eagles at all. We answer any Eagles questions. But it's time. It's hitting season at Charlie, we like to say. It felt like baseball weather out today where you're almost like, are they playing at Citizens Bank today? Love to go check me out a little Matt. Little day-night doubleheader.
Who didn't want to run to the cages today and get about 30 swings in, you know?
My one buddy's like, yo, it's a great day to have a catch.
I didn't want to run, but I would have driven to a cage.
You know what I mean, you bastard.
I had a baseball catch today.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Good. At least somebody out there did. I threw 800 pitches in the last 2 days, so there's no baseball catch happening today.
You were icing Ben Gay.
Listen, it's go time for a lot of these guys. They're getting ready for high school season. Got to rev up the arm. I left it all out there. I said, I'm here for you guys. Now be here for yourselves. Let's go. Our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports, where my arm's hanging right now. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. The 2018 Phillies will win blank games. Less than 70.
No way.
70, 79, 80, 89, 90 plus. And before we even get into circle the table here on where we got with it, I think people need to realize this is everything we've asked for. It's everything that I begged for 2+ years now. Your best prospect is your opening day shortstop, somebody we begged for, right? Every person in this lineup outside of Santana and even Hernandez and Herrera are young players still. But outside of Santana, it's a young baseball team, and 1 through 8, I think they're going to hit, but right into the poll. How many wins?
I'm going 80 to 89.
80 to 89.
And I could see them on the higher end of the 80s, 87, 88, 89. I mean, I said this the other day in our social media group. If you look at what this team did last year from the All-Star break through the end of the season, I mean, they were 1 game over 500, and they didn't have Hoskins that whole time. The pitching was shaky. They were still running Galvis out at shortstop most of the time. Franco gave you nothing. I mean, they finished a game over 500 basically from early July through the end of the season with 70% of the talent that they have now. So this needle has to be pointing straight up.
It has to. And you brought a young coach in here, and obviously brought a lot of excitement throughout this locker room and into the ballpark already. But how many you got him?
I'm in the same range. I've been saying all winter I'm in the 84, 86 range. So obviously I fall in that 80, 89 range. You know, I thought last year going into the year they were a 500 ball club, and I think this team on paper is better than that team last year. So if I thought that team was going to be a 500 ball club, then I have to think this year. Now, I will say, if they don't address the pitching issue, then my expectation is going to change. But I expect them to address this pitching issue, go get themselves a veteran arm. Now that camp has started, some of these prices will probably drop down a little bit, or at least the expectations that these guys have. So I'm that 80-89 range.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, based on what he said, like, they were a game over 500 the second half of last year. I think, like, with the veteran leadership of Santana, he'll help in the lineup. Just year 2 of Hoskins, he has experience under his belt now. Same thing with, like, Williams. Like, so I like the young blood. Like, I think it'll work well. And, like, I like the new young manager.
I hear what you're saying, Dan. I mean, you and I have been doing this going on. This is our 3rd baseball season now, and
Not a lot of good ones.
Yeah, but the common, but there's about 6 guys in this lineup that we will absolutely agree on, beginning to end, and it's Williams.
The entire outfield.
It's Williams, Alfaro, Hoskins, Crawford. You know, for as much as I like Kingery, Hernandez, and Nola, I mean, there's 6 guys that you and I are just straight out 100% lockstep on. So
it's going to be.
You're up, brother.
I'm 80-89 too. I think they make the second wild card. I really do. Yep. You know, because
I think they at least contend. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exciting thing about baseball, and really football has became this way too, more so than the NBA, because the NBA is what it is. You know who's going to be good. There's nobody going to sneak up on you. They are who they are. But the exciting thing about every new baseball season that comes with every new football season is there's 1 or 2 teams that nobody expected to be good, and they sneak up and play good baseball. Won the Minnesota Twins last year, played good baseball for a long time. I look at this Phillies team a lot like that team, maybe even a little bit better offensively. You know, I really like this offense 1 through 8. We talked about the outfield. The outfield's loaded with guys who can hit. Right. We saw it last year. I mean, Hoskins and Williams, that wasn't a fluke. I mean, they hit for a consistent amount of time in the big leagues. Herrera, we know what he can do. Yeah, okay, over 162, there's going to be some things that drive you crazy. Maybe them days are over with a younger manager in. One that can relate to these guys. You know, when they first hired Kapler, I was scared of the hire. It was that unknown, you know. But the more you think about it, it's a smart hire. It really is. When you have a locker room full of kids and a guy who just got done playing not that long ago, and that's what you're shooting for.
Well, I mean, I think to your point, if you look at that outfield, I mean, if you're going to work under the assumption that the starting outfield is Hoskins in left, Herrera in center, Williams in right, if Altera and Roman Quinn can both stay healthy, 1 to 5, this outfield could be scary. Absolutely.
Really scary.
And that's to your point. Now these guys, and the Kapler's point throughout this whole thing is, with those 1 through 5, now none of these guys have to wear down.
Right.
Like Hoskins, it's going to be a tough year for him addressing the outfield or moving to the outfield and logging all those miles that he's got to run.
Well, what's
now.
better, playing 125 and getting more production out of that 125, or trying to stretch him in the 160 and you're beat up? You know, I think the biggest concern that we talk about pitching-wise isn't Aaron Nola, because I think he figured it out as before even last season started. He figured it out. The question is Jared Eichhoff to me. Who is he? Is he the guy in his rookie year who I thought had great command, looked like his makeup had that ace in him, and struggled a lot last year? Can he figure it out and bounce back in his junior year and be that second guy if they don't go out and sign an arm? Now, I know people are commenting in, and we can get to them now, but that's a question.
Well, I think to your point, though, and you're spot on about Eichhoff, but you could actually say the same thing about Pivetta. You could say the same thing about Eflin. You could say the same thing about Lively. You could even draw it all the way out to Jake Thompson if you want. There is so much potential in these arms that if they can get out of their own heads and just perform when they're on the hill. I mean,
the thing with him is you saw it, though, for a year.
Yeah.
And compared to the other guys, you saw him do it.
I mean, this could be a ridiculous shutdown staff, or it could be a bunch of kids that can continue to struggle. It's just a matter of, which one of every one of these guys shows up.
You know what I love, though? When your ace makes adjustments. Because, like I said, the guy played at LSU, right? I mean, big time. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're top 10 pick for a reason. All right,
Friday night starter at LSU.
Yeah, I mean that's a big resume that you're rolling out there.
Yeah.
And now, somebody in spring training saying, "Hey, you're too much upper body. You got to get your legs going more." And somebody told him this before last spring. And for a guy to do it and then credit it through his success is all I need to know about Aaron Nola.
Sure.
A guy who's willing to make adjustments at the big league level, or guys are going to be successful, which is exciting. That's why Arrieta to me is a guy is ticking down, but I'm okay because, one, I don't care about money. I don't care about money.
Yeah.
And two, whatever years, I'll get rid of them. That doesn't matter to me. So if it's a vet who is a guy who figured it out through a rough patch, isn't the guy who he's been, but will definitely bring some stability to this rotation, no question.
Back to your Eichhoff point, though, what was encouraging to me last year is he didn't come up with a fluke injury. He didn't say, "Oh, let me step away." He went out there, grabbed the
kept
ball,
taking it, yeah,
and
tried to fix it on the go. Now, sometimes that can do more harm than good, but to me, the mental side of it was, I'm not beaten yet up here. I still can figure it out. Let me see what I can do and work. So hopefully a new staff, a new pitching coach, a new pitching thought process and game plan, maybe this changes because I do think he is a key portion.
Just do me a favor. Just yell.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
I
yell.
just
get in.
Just yell.
I want
Just
to get
yell.
back to the outfield.
There
point,
he
like,
is.
the
Sorry, Chris.
1.5,
There he is. Chris, what Chris said, Tom, come on. New kid, you got his headset down. And I said, watch that. And I said, watch this. I said, Dan, yell.
All right. Well, like the 1 through 5, like outfield, I think that it'll benefit Altair the most because he's always struggled staying healthy. So, and when he's healthy, he produces. So I think really like that helps him the most. And I don't know if it's like the new direction of baseball, but like it kind of reminds me like the Eagles running back situation is going to keep everyone fresh.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
Absolutely.
Baseball's it's a grind. It's a mental grind. It's a physical grind that people don't take into consideration. It's a dog days of summer for a goddamn reason.
Right.
And not everybody can go, hey, and bury it and hit 40 after the goddamn break. It's just not realistic. Let's get to the fam here. We got Dion Brown. What's up, fellas?
What's up,
what up, Dion?
What are you drinking tonight, Dion?
Yeah, what's on tap?
And you know what he said after? Time to talk about it. Okay, out there. Stephanie Ellis says 90 plus, which I absolutely love.
Oh,
and
I love the aggressiveness.
I mean, listen, Noel's got to win you 20.
Yeah,
And
he's got to be in the Cy Young conversation.
Yup, real quick.
For 90.
And right off the bat, too,
Yeah.
like 3 weeks in, like, I don't know, Cy Young.
He's 10-0 already.
already.
3 weeks in, he's 10-0. He's got 10 starts.
Michael Lipinski. What up, Mike?
What up, Mike?
Feeling 84 wins, but I'm probably wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I think that's right where we're all at, and it's fair.
Where you said 84?
Yeah, 84. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, I know people, and I said the guy Rob Lutman in the Real Talk group earlier this week, like, dude, where he's like, he's saying the lineup can't hit and all this negativity. I just don't know where all the negativity is coming from. This is the top farm system in baseball. Up. Listen, I crushed talking about farm systems for years, right? Mike knows about them winning because I didn't give a shit about titles there. But what I did care about was them still winning games. And these kids won a lot of baseball games together. And don't think that doesn't matter. And you add in, and I know Danny talked about it, and we're all going to talk about Santana is huge.
Yeah. 84 and 78
Huge.
is absolutely realistic.
Oh, completely. Dion, poll question. He goes, I say 70, 75. No pitching, lack of bullpen, going to be a long season. The bullpen's actually good.
I think, yeah. I don't understand what that comment's about. I think the bullpen.
Spin it, brother. Tell us what you think.
I think the bullpen's going to be a strength. They really improved it this offseason, so.
But you know what? It's not the names. And that's where like somebody like that isn't deep into it, like just in terms of like looking at their bullpen names wise, you're like, who are these guys? You know,
ain't elbows
like
deep up in there.
if you ain't in it, like you know what I mean, you're going to look at the bullpen and be like, who?
Who?
Hector Neris. You know what I mean? 'Cause,
Luis Garcia.
Outside of the baseball junkies, who's really watched the Phillies over the last 3 years or been able to live through it?
Fair point.
That's not being a fair weather fan. That's just saying at some point halfway through, like, this has become tough to watch.
Yeah.
It's become real tough to watch.
I got something else better to do between 7 and 11 on every weeknight.
Yeah, I was going to say, and when it's every single night, I mean, yeah.
At some point, you can be like, you can hang it up for the year and be like, okay, I'll get you back in September when the call-ups come in.
But I actually
and I can see some kids I want to see.
I think the bullpen is going to be the strength of that pitching staff.
Right.
Because of the unknowns of the starters right now. All they have to do is get us through 5.
Yeah.
And you have enough guys. Nishak, Adam Morgan, to me, has turned into an absolute weapon.
And we hated him
And
as a
hated him.
starter. But
Yeah.
guess what?
I hated him a
Some
lot.
guys figure it out.
But he's in the bullpen. He can play that Billy Wagner style, not in a closer's role, to where he doesn't have to worry about pitching innings. He can come in, gas 97, and then drop the 70 slide piece, and good night, 3 pitches out.
Well, that, and I mean, one of the things that's gone way under the radar is K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez. I mean, if this guy's healthy and he's anything close to what he was 3, 4, 5 years ago, I mean, realistically, if your starters go 5 and you go Neshek, Garcia, K-Rod, Neris, or Neshek, Morgan, K-Rod, Neris, or some combination, Tommy Hunter, Morgan, Garcia, Neris. I mean, you're basically shortening it to a 5-inning start every single game.
Bob Hartman had 2 days in a row. Nick Williams almost hit Gabe Kapler's rental car.
Nice.
And dented it once. Rake in. Let's go. Dion said, I do like the outfield. That's the best part of this team for me. Chris Lyons, what's up, fellas? 90-plus, see you in October.
Chris, welcome back, Chris.
See you in October.
The Red October's
Red
back.
October's back, baby.
Another parade.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
So Bob Hartman writing to Jake Arrieta talk. Does
like
your
it.
win total increase? And listen, there's a lot of people firing out. I mean, Phillies baseball is officially fucking back, baby.
Hell yeah.
The city of winners. This is exciting. We didn't get the Flyers or Sixers yet, or even the real fucking champions. We didn't get to none of it yet. We're all Phillies, and the people are coming hot.
Look, there's a reason.
Eagles do this.
There's a reason pitchers and catchers report on Valentine's Day because it's a love affair. It's a goddamn love affair.
They all do hug it. There's a lot of hugs.
Like you said, like I've been holding on to this last couple weeks. I truly believe the Eagles broke the curse. I don't know. Like,
Hey, you may very well be right, man.
If they can do it, why can't we?
Right.
Well, Philly teams are what
12-0-1.
12-0-1.
Yeah.
There you go.
Bigger than just breaking it.
Right.
To me, it's a bunch of guys who weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
And when other teams around, like dude, they did it with 5 backups playing in big time positions for this football team
Right.
and winning a world championship and beating the 2 greatest of all time to do it, and you did it that way. So everybody else looks around and goes, well, why can't we?
But here's the thing.
and I think it's every team around all sports
but on
has to
credit
say
to
that.
the Eagles.
Yeah, but
Like-
exactly. And on top of that, like we've talked about this on the show in the past, and Dan, I know you've actually mentioned it on social media too, but when you look at it, you have guys from the Phillies that are going to Eagles games and Sixers games. You got guys from the Eagles going to Flyers games and Sixers games. You have Sixers players going to Eagles games. I mean, it's like all the teams in this city are fans of each other. And that the winning becomes contagious because they feed off of the energy.
Man, I say
It
to my
helps that they're all
kids.
25 years old
Yeah.
now.
I say-
Because they're all drinking
yeah.
buddies.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I say it to my kids that I coach. Like, I mean, watch what they did. Like, anything's possible. You believe in the guy next to you, and you want it bad enough.
Yeah.
You whatever. You know the old saying. But let's get to more of it. Jason Grisoli, he goes, "What's up? What up, Jay?"
What's up, Jay?
Jay.
And he said it's baseball season.
I'll tell you what, that guy back in the day, he could rake.
Could he rake?
Jason could rake.
Respect, and everything he said is going to be right from here on
There we
out.
go.
Deion said I have a 6-pack of High Life tonight.
Attaboy, the
LOL.
champagne of
Yes.
beers.
That's what Mike Parker.
My man.
Mike Parker goes champagne and beers. Lenny Robinson says champagne and beers. Bob Hartman says it's champagne and beers. So we got
Everybody's drinking champagne tonight.
3 straight champagnes of beers.
Yes.
And then Lenny Robinson hits him with classy. What up, boys? And Mike Parker, what up? Bobby, Len, and Robert Wojcik.
Wojcik.
I'm not a name connoisseur. 85.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another good one. Who else I missed? James Wilder. My man James. He said, poll questions, the Phillies are making the playoffs or whatever the number they need to do. That, 80+.
Hey, James.
Okay, I like
Take
it.
off, you hoser.
Yeah,
How you doing, eh?
hey.
What's that all about?
I got it. When I talk to him, I got to listen out for that more. You know what I mean? I didn't listen out for
The Canadian accent?
Yeah, like I maybe heard little bits and pieces. Like, listen,
I love James.
I live with a former Russian. You know what I mean? I'm married
You
to a former Russian.
don't
so-
hear accents.
No, there's accents. Like she'll say some things and it'd be like stern, and it'll come out in the vowels. You can hear it if you pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Bob Hartman said, I remember when the other 3 teams used to get pissed when Eagles chants would break out during the games. Doesn't seem to be the case these days.
I hated it too as a fan.
No.
Me too.
I hated it.
In that Sixers group, like literally, there's like 10
yeah.
posts a night complaining. Oh, like you're at a Sixers game. Why? Like it's just the
they
energy
ain't
of
4 for 4.
the city. Like get over it. We're a football town. Like
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that. That's
no
so
matter
annoying.
what, Dan, that's the greatest thing tonight. No matter what, it's always going to be a football town. I love my baseball. I'm a baseball freaking purist at the end of the day, but it's always going to be a football town.
And if any team tries to rally it, well, they all at times when they're going well, they all put up a good fight.
Oh, yeah.
And try and make this town that team. Like when the Phillies were going through their day, there was no Eagles talk. It helped that the Eagles weren't very good at that point.
I know, yeah, in that little stretch.
In that
yeah.
little stretch.
Well, here's the problem, though.
Even when the Sixers, like, look, the Sixers are blowing up right now. Like, you can't get a, season ticket,
Right.
and it's
But here,
over what?
no,
Over
right.
you
But
know,
here's
hopes
the
and
thing:
dreams?
none of the other teams have a chant.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Right.
it's
We're
not
gonna
like you can
start
just go
breaking
make
out the
something
10
up.
on 8
But
song. You know
but
what
that's
I mean?
what I was going to say.
Everybody.
Is when you see guys from the Sixers show up at an Eagles game or a Phillies game, they play the song.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
start singing along, but you can't get 50 people to just start singing the song in the middle of the third inning. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, we talked about profiles earlier, right? You jump on one of their profiles, guaranteed they're not 4-for-4 guys that are saying in these groups. They're either guys
Like
are
they're
just
Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Most of them is Cowboys fans.
Yeah,
Like,
it's hysterical. They get upset.
I'm Phillies, Flyers,
even like Rome.
Lakers
even,
and Cowboys.
Even Rome at first was like didn't like it, right?
Yeah.
In the Sixers, but as it went on, he bought into it.
Yeah.
And he's a Steelers guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not an Eagles guy, but he bought into it. Like I saw him buy into it and be like, yeah, me too. Rome's the man. But he bought into it. Like okay, it's just gonna be the way it is. Like I'm not gonna let it bother me. And I get it because it used to bother me. And I'm 4-for-4, and I'm like, dude,
I
come
thought
on.
it was funny. It never bothered me. Like when, just in the middle of the game, I just think the city's hilarious. Like they'll just start doing it for no reason.
Yeah,
You
I just think when the Eagles aren't good, don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, just
exactly.
that's when it
last
used to
year-
bother me
Last
more
year,
so.
people, or not like last year we went 7-9. People were like, "Oh, you didn't hear people doing it then." Well, all right, you're not gonna brag about going 7-9. Like,
Yeah, if you're doing it there, somebody should smack you right off the chair.
I'll tell you what, though. I would rather have 9 innings of Eagles chants than the wave at a baseball game.
Oh, the waves.
It's just a given.
The waves. Like, stop making me get out of my seat. And then you're just gonna start getting me get out of it.
come on, the waves great.
It's good like one time
Why
around.
are you getting out of your seat? Why are you doing it?
Sometimes they
just
overdo
sit there.
it, but
Sit there.
That's
and drink,
the overdone.
Sit there and drink your beer.
The
all right,
overkill.
well, when the Phillies are up like 4 runs in the 8th inning, I think that's when it's fun. Like they're pretty much gonna win.
When things are going well,
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I could buy in the more when things are going well than when they're going bad. Now you want me to get excited?
Yeah.
Jason says, Mike, I can still rake. I have no doubt I can go 2 for 3, 3 for 4 right now. Hey, you know it, Jay. It's all about the confidence. You believe it, you're probably gonna at least get one.
It's a humble guy.
Jimmy Schwartz, Phillies stink like a real team like the Yankees. Well, they're not real at all, Jimmy. I mean,
They're store bought.
yeah, if that's the way you want to live your life, you know, that's fine. Big brand, big business. We're just going to go win another one.
I do like the Brandon Drury deal, though. Drury's going to rake in that lineup.
Anyone's gonna rake in that
Well,
lineup.
yeah, but Drury's going to. I mean,
200 feet down the line. Like
Over under Stanton, 120 games this year.
over.
Taking over.
I'm gonna go under.
no, I'm going over because he could DH a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going under. Because the guy never plays fucking full seasons. He did last year, which was an anomaly. Because if you go back and look at it, he never freaking does.
No, I know.
For whatever.
No, he's been my fantasy keeper forever. I know.
I know he's not an injury-prone guy. And, one off the face is like.
Well, no, he is an injury-prone guy.
Like, one off the face is hard to, like, break guys' balls about. But there's always the little tweaks. There's always the little things. The guy got paid. And that was before last year, obviously. But the guy got paid. And I'm not saying that's the reason for it. But I see him under 120. I don't know why. Because everything's too good for the Yankees right now. And when things look too good, things go wrong. Chrome, what up, Chrome?
What's up, Chrome?
He said St. Louis Cards. Oh, who am I kidding? Matheny stinks. Chrome, I don't know if he's always been like that with managers, but he's like me with the managers. Or with the GMs. He's like with managers that I am with, like, GMs. Like, I just want to run every fucking GM out of town. I
don't know if he was running Matheny out of town when he was winning a bunch of World
No,
Series.
but he probably wasn't. Who would? Schwartz says, but it's all about championships, isn't it, Jimmy? I can't have this conversation. And Jason says the Red Sox are better. Preach it! They are.
Well, the Red Sox, I mean, that's just the rich get richer.
No.
You put J.D. Martinez in that lineup, okay.
It's going to be fun
that's
to
another
watch
guy.
them two teams go
All
all
he's
summer.
going to do is DH.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because he's not playing in an outfield with Benedetti, Bradley, and geez, why am I drawing a blank on the third one?
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Loaded. Bob Hartman says, Mike, when is Sixto going to be this year? Where's Sixto going to be?
2 years.
Sixto will probably start at AA with AAA by June 1st.
With Sing Sing.
There you go.
Got the low number this year.
Yeah, hopefully
Rocking
he's not.
24.
I'm thinking he might not even be in double. I'm thinking I'm thinking
go
out
right
of
to
spring
trips.
he might be right in triple.
I
Not
think-
Sixto.
Sing.
Sixto's got tons of control
Yeah,
issues to
Sing.
still figure out, but Sing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's good. You talk about a guy that might even be in this bullpen at some point this
Sure.
year. You know the way bullpens go.
Yeah.
I mean, if he throws strikes and continues to pitch the way he's pitched
Well,
throughout
here's
the organization,
well,
why
here's
not?
the thing, though.
And he likes all the Instagram shit.
Yeah.
If
I love
Adam
Sing.
It's all over it.
if Adam Morgan goes down, They don't have another left-hander that throws gas the way Singh does.
I tell you how to catch
I mean,
with him
they
one time.
got Hobie Milner, and Hobie can be filthy if his stuff is right, but Singh just throws gas.
That's another guy in the bullpen that you forget about.
Yeah.
Totally forget about.
Like,
Yeah.
and you're right. He's just a crafty one or two batter guy that you just need to get you out of a jam, and then boom, you know.
I mean, there's legitimately scenarios where Luis Garcia could actually wind up starting this season as the closer at AAA because he just can't crack the bullpen because they're going to be stacked.
Yeah.
Zeke man in the house.
What's up, Zeke?
Yo, he says anything under 500, I'm gonna deep fry Kapler's nuts. Oil ready.
In coconut oil?
Oil ready.
Hit it.
You know, I don't. This is me with analytics, and Mike knows, and Greg knows. You know, I'm half on them. Like, I'm half in where I think they're effective, and I'm half out where he's got to still tell you something. Like, that scout to be able to go look at a player still matters, and him writing down what his eyes tell him still matters. No matter what, I don't care. 30 years from now, 40 years from now, you're always going to need what the eye test tells you. So, now, I don't know if his weirdness ties into him being, like, over-analytical. I know they're going to use some of it. I hope it's that good split.
But see,
I really do. I hope it's not – in terms of a whole organizational thing, it's not.
I think this is why you would love Kapler, or you'll grow to love him, because
I think I do, Mike. I started tanning last week.
He's got them like he doesn't have them coming in at 8 a.m. He doesn't have them showing up until 11 a.m.
He's not Ryan Sandberg
right.
them.
So he's in there like 8 a.m. going through all the analytics stuff. But then once they show up, he's out there like with his iPhone and his iPad, and he's actually shooting video of guys like swinging, throwing in the bullpen, catching, framing pitches.
And that's his player development coming in full circle.
So he can then take those videos back and he can do the eye test and then compare it to the analytics and kind of figure out where that happy medium is.
You know what? More so than – let me rephrase this. More so than Kapler, I'm talking more so to Clintac.
Clintac, okay.
As that.
I'll buy that.
As using your eyes. Kapler's a guy who just got done playing. Yeah. He's in the Dodgers organization. What do they do great, man? Player development, they do great. They never stopped making the playoffs since in like 2007. I feel like they're in the playoffs every year, and that goes to player development and obviously the ability to spend whatever amount of money you want. But still, you know, they got a lot, you know, Seager, right, and
Peterson
and
Bellinger,
homegrown guys are the reason where you're at.
Should we keep going with prospects for the Dodgers?
Yeah. So I mean that's why I like the Kapler more so than I did when it first hired, because when it first hired it was that unknown more so than Dougie. Like Doug was a guy that was under an Andy Tree, and I had confidence because I seen Andy's accomplishments more so than like Gabe. So you had to really like get deep into it. But Mike's point, I did see him doing that the other day. Yeah. I love seeing that. But my thing's on Clintac. Because Matt Clintac, to me, he's young, dude. He's really young for his job. And that's not a problem because Theo Epstein was young for his job and other guys were. But is it the organization that's holding the pockets tight? Who's holding the pockets tight when it comes to starting and going to get an arm? Like, there's no reason that you couldn't have went to Darvish and outbid the Cubs on Darvish. You could have. Because you have just as amount of money, if not more, to spend. You could have. And to me, that's the signing that would have said to me, we're looking to win right now. But we're not looking.
Right. Darvish, he worries me, though. He's injury prone. I mean.
But just a point.
Yeah,
like the big horse out there.
If you spend money on Darvish this year, does that take you out of – but that's the Machado or Harper or both of them.
No. Because you're printing fucking money.
There's no cap in baseball, right?
No, you're printing money. You pay a luxury tax.
Luxury tax.
And you print that at the ballpark every time. And then you got a brand new deal with NBC Sports, right? That went into effect this year, right? That deal goes into effect.
Yes.
All right.
But
huge deal. Printing, Mike. Tell people. Printing.
You're absolutely right. But it's almost like, what are your scouts telling you now about Darvish? Do they think he's injury prone like that to where
that's just a name?
No, I understand.
You know, more so.
But here's the thing: I can answer your question for you. And it's going to sound a little counterintuitive, but hear me out. I think there's three people that are holding the purse strings, and the three people that are holding the purse strings are Maikel Franco, Aaron Nola, and Odubel Herrera. Basically, what happens is if those three guys perform up to where they're supposed to perform, they're going to take the team with them. And if the team starts winning, all of a sudden, the money starts flowing. But they're not going to throw money at shit this year because there's still a lot of guys that are in that developmental phase. If this was next year and you had full season for Hoskins, full season for Williams, full season for Crawford, then you can't let those kids lose. You got to go out and you got to get them arms.
No.
But with this being year one.
But that's even more so why I do it. Because now you're changing over the new leaf, right? You're changing over everything. So now the young kids are coming. The last thing I want them to do is take tons of lumps this year. That's the last thing I want.
That's viable, but the other part of that is maybe these young kids take these guys that aren't performing and just push them out the door.
Listen, they could, and that's the goal. Like, I'm not saying you don't need anybody in your lineup. There's none of them kind of things that I need. Like, I'm good with Franco and give him this year to see if Santana signing helps him or not. So I'm willing, because I've always been a huge Franco guy up until last year, where I thought he was a little crummish. But up until that last year, Mike knows I love Franco. He was always my guy. So I'm okay with that. The whole lineup. My thing was Darvish to me got a bad rap because Houston beat him up. If you look at his splits, Houston always beats him up.
Right.
So it wasn't anything new. So to me, he was the big fish. And if Theo's willing to spend on him, and Theo's smarter than Quintago ever will be. So if Theo's willing to spend on him, so am I. He was just a name because he was the big guy.
Right.
I'm with you. I mean,
to the whole
that's fair.
organization and to us.
It's absolutely
It's
fair.
selfish. It's selfish. I know.
You could have said the
It's
same
selfish.
thing about Garrett Cole. About those trades that went. I mean, you know me. My big one was the Christian Yelich. You telling me we couldn't have matched that deal or entice that deal even more.
Yeah.
And I don't think of it necessarily as we're holding the pockets tight. Because I know you read everything John Middleton says. He wants to win just as bad as anybody.
Yeah.
But I think it's spending smart so that you don't ruin the future with a bad signing here, a bad signing there.
It's fair. To me, it was one guy this offseason that I targeted and would have been like, okay, this defines you trying to go get it. And that was Darvish to me, because I've been a big Darvish guy. Like, I know a lot of people, when you talk about the Asian pitchers, they don't love the translation. Him, to me, he's an American pitcher. He's hard, he's heavy, right? And then he throws 45 different pitches. So
as they all do.
And but my point is, he's pitched in big games. Okay, he's pitched in big playoff games, won big playoff games at points of his career. Okay, and knows what it takes to get to that point. And for a young staff, the preparation day to day, that's why I wanted a guy like this. I'll be okay with an Arrieta because he does the same thing to me. He's a guy who pitches in big games.
Yep.
So I'm not, like, off the wagon. But like Zeke's saying, exactly, Tom, what's the freaking plan? I know what the plan is. So I'm not jumping off this whole wagon. The plan is develop your kids and go get it. Yeah. To me, like we're all saying, in that 80-win mark, right? Where are we all at? With Aaron Nola as our only known legitimate starter. Yeah. We're all in that mark. So imagine what Darvish does to that mark. I mean, are we sitting here with you, Darvish, saying that we're high 80s? Possibly that 90 mark?
I would say 90, yeah.
Right, but here's the thing. There's a couple factors here. If you look,
Darvish up, sorry.
But it's fine. I mean, they're talking about the fact that they've basically been talking to Scott Boras about Arrieta since the whole free agency signing period started. And it's just been a matter of Arrieta's looking for like 6-7 years, and it's just too long for the Phillies. Yeah. Well, look at what Darvish signed for. I mean, Darvish signed for what, 7? So if the length of the contract is the issue for Arrieta, there's no reason to say that it couldn't be the same issue for Darvish. Now, is Darvish less of a risk? Yeah, he is. But at the same time, look at what happened when what Shohei Ohtani was coming over. And, I mean, he basically said, as a Japanese player, I'm going to look at New York, Seattle, Chicago, and Los Angeles because that's where the big Asian population is. So, I mean, maybe the Phillies actually reached out to Darvish, and Darvish was just like, no, Philadelphia doesn't do it for me. Which
Chicago would?
Chicago's got a big Asian population.
Do they?
So
I didn't know.
Yeah,
that's Google.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically,
Interesting.
I mean, it's all the West Coast cities. It's Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles.
Makes sense. Yeah, the West Coast.
The West Coast, and then Chicago, Dallas, New York. I mean, Philly just doesn't have a big Asian population.
And that's fine, and he might have not, and there could be more reasons, Maybe they, he was in the talks, so there was conversation.
Now you replace you Darvish with say Madison Bumgarner, somebody like that. That's you better be out there talking to that guy, no question.
So hopefully it is.
And stay off the motorbikes.
All right, Bob Harmon said, what can we realistically expect from Vince this year? I think Chris says 90 plus, so he's probably talking with Darvish. Put him in the bullpen?
Yeah.
Is that what he said?
He's not a starter. Literally, I don't know how many times we have to go through this. He throws 90 pitches through 4.5 innings. He's ridiculous.
Dan does his homework. We've been on that train for 2 years. Guys, basically their future closer.
Yeah.
I mean,
come in, gas
the sooner they learn,
and then
the sooner they learn that, the better.
I like the confidence though from him coming into the year. Everything you've read or you've heard from him has been positive. Apparently there's a lot of dialogue with him and Kapler going back and forth throughout the whole winter. So maybe a vote of confidence in a new staff and a new regime. Because when he first got here, those first few starts, you were like, we won that deal on these 3 starts already.
And we might still.
And we still won. I think won the deal.
Although
but
not on the heels of Mark Appel and his temporary retirement.
Yeah.
But, maybe a breath of fresh air, a new regime, like you said, with Eichhoff, a new mental approach to the pitching side. Maybe it'll do him good. But I do agree. I think it's only a matter of time before he is in that ninth inning guy just pumping gas.
Said he threw a bullpen the other day with the umpire, and 37 out of 40 pitches for strikes and was hitting 97 on the gun. I'll take it. Now, can you translate that?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to throw 37 out of 40 in a bullpen when you're a major league pitcher.
It's not even his velocity. It's nothing soft. You can't be everything hard and expect to be a guy who can get through 5. You just never will. Right. So unless there's something that's got 10-mile-an-hour difference, 8-mile-an-hour difference that you can locate for strikes, you're going to be in trouble. I don't care who you are. Right. And that's the thing where we preach about moving him to the pen, a closer, a role where, hey, you can throw hard because you're only getting 3 outs. Right. There's not much you need to do. What did I get here?
Todd actually just chimed in. Todd Womack, he said, what's good, guys? Mike, love the Phillies gear. Thanks, Todd. And then he says, Philly Dilly, guys, just watch Christian Kirk highlights because Mel has us taking him in the mock draft, and I do like what I see, but we still need a linebacker. Todd's still stuck on the Eagles. Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Texas A&M,
okay.
burner.
Yeah.
At 32?
Yeah. Assuming that Torrey Smith is probably gone.
Yeah.
James Ray saying, what's up? Been a long time,
James?
fellas. What up, James? Doug Zeke said, is this J.D. Hammer guy for real? Dick Vaughn?
Robbie Blitz on Twitter just said, what do you guys think about this J.D. Hammer guy?
I think he looks awesome. I mean, he'll probably start the season in Double-A, but the look is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't intimidate you just on the look, I think it's tremendous.
What's that guy from that movie? They play for the Indians. I can't think of the name of the movie right now.
You're young.
Ricky Vaughn.
You are a young buck. Yeah.
I've watched that movie. I'm just drawing a blank right now.
Vaughn.
Yeah.
Rick Vaughn.
Rick Vaughn. Mike Parker, Arrieta, 31 years old, can't give him more than 3 years. The decline happens at 34. The decline's already happened, Mike, with him, and I completely agree.
And he was a slow starter, too.
Right. Well,
he struggled through Baltimore. He struggled through the beginning of the Cubs' reign.
Well, here's the thing with Arrieta. This should be simple for Klentak. It's a 3-year deal. 4th-year vests after year 1, 5th-year vests after year 2, 6th-year vests after year 3. If you make it through each year healthy and productive, you get another year that vests on the contract. Now, I understand that he's gambling on himself by signing a contract like that, but if the Phillies load it with a shit ton of money, which they absolutely have, you know what? Alshon did it. And this explains now why he played through a whole season with a torn rotator cuff because he knew he was playing for a contract. But here's the wild card in all this. He gets the extension, but they're 8-1 when he signs the extension? He can't go on IR at that point because they're getting ready to go to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now look at him. I mean, that's a guy who's got some freaking couillons. And Arrieta needs to do the same thing. Bet on yourself, come out and perform, and you're going to get a lot of money, and this city's going to fall in love with you.
Mike Parker, the more I think about it, Marlins are cupcake series, and the Braves have been blowing since 2002, and the Mets are a mess.
Oh, he says Braves blow. Clay will be chiming in.
And he says we're taking a division, boys. I'm not there yet, Mike.
Yeah,
Nationals are still pretty good.
A couple hours down 95 a little bit that might have something to say with it. But I love the enthusiasm.
No, I do too.
I mean, I think
I agree.
His premise is right. The Marlins are bad now. The Braves are going to be better, but
Scherzer away from being able to compete with the Nationals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an arm injury away. You know, arms go, and Strasburg and Scherzer, they're not guaranteed. Yeah. Scherzer's more of a guarantee.
Scherzer's guaranteed.
Yeah, but Strasburg, you know that deal.
Yeah.
We've been down that road, and even Harper, too. We know that routine.
Over
under Harper, 130, boys.
Philly,
I don't ever care what they do. Sorry.
Harper,
130.
Over
under.
Go ahead, Dan.
Under.
I'm going over.
I'm going
Contract here.
I'm going over as well. Same thing.
I hate this scumbag.
I love him.
Under.
I love him.
I would love him here, hate him there. If he went to like the AL, I would be like, Harper's the man. You know what I mean? He's in the NL East. I despise him.
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to say, Danny?
I mean, like, I don't care what the Nationals do in the regular season. Like, they suck in the playoffs. So I'm never really worried about what they do.
Oh, they're one and done.
They're awful.
Go out. Yeah.
Or was it 4 and done? or 3 in the first round? 3 and done.
So here, Philly 0024. Do you guys know if Jalen Ortiz is close to reaching Double-A yet? The answer is yes, we do, and the answer is no, he's not. It would be actually a triple jump for him. He finished out last year with Williamsport, which is rookie ball, so he will have to go through Lakewood and Clearwater before he gets to Reading at Double-A. I think they project him this year to start at Lakewood and finish out the year at Clearwater, so maybe Double-A next year. But the kid is an absolute beast. I mean, he's a freak. Is
he 11 still, too?
He's like, I was going to say, I think he's like 18.
He's about as old as Dan is.
He's like, he is. He's like 18, and he's like 6'4", 265.
That's
and,
ridiculous.
You know, he just mashes. So
like the Dominican cheerleader.
Could he absolutely go nuts and double or triple jump this year? Sure, he could. Is it likely? Probably not.
I think the more eyes you should keep an eye on are the Moniak. You know, Moniak, Hazley, and Cornelius Randolph.
No, you know how I feel about Hazley. I think
are,
Hazley's going to wind up being the best one out of that whole bunch.
He could. And you know what the funny thing is? Like, Randolph struggled for a minute, and then he found it again. And he started hitting a little bit.
I think,
Moniak's the one who hasn't really – but that's
Moniak,
what's it, 1 year he played, right?
Yeah, one full, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not there.
I went down to, I don't know, down or whatever. I went to see one of his games. He was like 0 for 5. Like, I mean, I think he has good potential.
Who's this, Moniak?
Yeah, Moniak, my bad.
Lakewood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was also, like, really, I mean, first off, the South Atlantic League where Lakewood plays is not a hitter's league at all. So, that's a problem for a lot of these guys, but he was real streaky. I mean, Moniak could have 3 or 4 straight games of 0 for 4, 0 for 5, and then Thursday will roll around, and all of a sudden, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he's, 14 for 20 with, 3 doubles and 7 RBIs.
This is the problem with the jump from high school, right? And this is the biggest thing that I've learned from guys just jumping from high school to college. And listen, I get it, man. These kids all playing perfect games, and they play against the best in the world, and they travel everywhere. That's great. Okay? Let me tell you something. Until you see a big league slide piece, it's tough. I mean, that jump is so freaking hard. I mean, I remember my buddy Andrew saying, he went to Delaware, right, to play baseball. It's not like he went to, an SEC school. Right. He didn't go to LSU, right? And he said, oh, my God. And he played Brooklawn, played best of the best, that competition. Said, oh, my God, sliders. Sliders
are a real deal.
Yeah. That's hilarious because was it last spring, we went down to watch the NCAA lacrosse tournament that they were playing at Delaware. And we walk right by the Delaware baseball stadium. And I start going like this. And everybody's like, well, what's the matter with you? Well, what's going on? I'm like, I can't look at that field. I'm like, that's good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Fastball, curveball, slider, see you later. Like, I got one at bat on that field at 3 pitches, and I'm out of there. I mean, that's Division I baseball. That's no joke.
No. It's a whole nother world.
And it's Delaware. It's not FSU.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like, and then we would love Moniak to come in and hit the cover off the ball right away, but to Mike's point, you'll see that in little streaky things, and that's him figuring some things out, him not figuring. And
and you're right. They jump from high school. You're 18. Like, oh, hey, kid, jump into pro ball. And then with Randolph, now you're learning a new position defensively.
Then you got to think up
here.
Then
you got to think up here. Oh, my gosh. It's kind of what, it was almost like the Hoskins effect early last year when he was playing the outfield and was in that 0 for slump. You were wondering, all right, is it because of the defense? Is it because he's playing a new position? Now he's stinking. Now he's stinking at the plate. What's going on?
Well, what happened? They moved him to first base on a Sunday. He had a little bleeder hit, and then all of a sudden he starts raking.
And then went on a tear.
Yeah.
And that's going to be interesting this year. I'm hoping – what I'm really hoping is that him starting in spring training playing the outfield sort of takes some of the, the head stuff away.
I think you're spot on. Because, I mean, he literally took balls in the outfield for a week before the Phillies called him up last year. Full spring training in the outfield, he'll be fine.
Well, and not only that, not only is full spring training, I mean, as soon as they signed Santana, he knew what his he knew he was like, I'm out.
And I'm sure that was told.
Time to go run.
I'm sure he had an inkling of that a month before. It was probably happening. Like, hey, start, more outfield work.
Did you hear the interesting one? Tommy Joseph taking ground balls over at third base.
I heard that.
Well, I mean, they said this week.
Forgot all about him.
Right.
They're trying to get guys more versatile.
Yeah, I heard
to find
Joseph
to potentially find a spot.
Right, Joseph at third.
They had swinging in a little bit.
Well, they had Roman Quinn taking balls at shortstop and second, along with fly balls in the outfield.
Yeah, because Hernandez right now is your backup shortstop,
right? And when Roman Quinn came up,
they like go floor mom.
Roman Quinn was a shortstop until he got to Double-A, and they had Crawford, and then they were like, okay, well, you got to go to the outfield now. Yeah. So, I mean, for Roman Quinn to take balls in the middle infield is nothing, but yeah.
And then they had Scotty. They had your boy
Jetpack
over at third base.
Right. Well, they had Santana taking balls at first, third, and in the outfield. I mean, they just have guys taking balls all over the place this first week, just so that if it happens, And I actually think they learned a lot last year when they brought Crawford up, and he was playing a game at short, 2 games at third, a game at second, back to third, back to short. And he handled all of it flawlessly.
Yeah, he looks like a pimp, don't it?
Yeah. So it's like, well, how many other guys do we have that could do this?
This is a great comment. Bob Hartman, seriously, can we get them some can we get some cheerleaders with the Fanatic grinding all up on them in between innings?
Oh, the Dominican cheerleaders?
And he goes, I guess the Fanatic grinding on some cheerleaders isn't very family friendly. The hell it ain't. Earmuffs.
He does it anyway. He flashes people anyway.
Yeah.
Mike Parker, I caught a foul ball at a Wilmington Blue Rocks game one time. The extent of my baseball career, minus making the travel all-star team in Little League.
Nice.
Boom!
And then them two are talking back and forth.
Greg, going back to your point real quick about Tommy Joseph. I mean, this is a guy who obviously can field ground balls because he played first base. He's got a hose for an arm because he was a catcher.
Yeah.
He will have no range at third base, but if he can pick it and throw it, and he's swinging the bat, hey, who knows?
How many did he hit last year?
Who knows?
21? How many did he hit last year?
Yeah, I think he was mid-20s.
Who, Tommy?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I know the first year when he was splitting time with Ryan Howard, he hit 21.
22.
Yeah,
He had 22 last year.
So let's play this game. I like this game. This game's always fun.
Do it up.
And then we can take a break because this game takes a minute. Okay? I'm going to give you a player, and I'm going to give you over-under home run number.
All right.
Okay? And then I might even with that player give you an over-under batting average as well. I'll give you both.
I want them both.
Okay? I'm going to give you
All
both.
right, let's do it.
And let's start with Mr. Hoskins himself.
Feed the boy. Feed the boy.
Over-under home run. Over-under home run. 28. Okay?
Definitely over.
28.
Yeah.
Over-under average 270.
Like a little bit over. Like I'm going like 275.
275, okay. And you're going over 28 home runs.
Yeah, I'm saying like 33, 36.
I like it because I'm going like 275 and 38. That's where I'm at on him.
I'm over and under on the bat average. I just think
I didn't want to go over 30 with it because, that's sort of sophomore this year. So I'm trying to be realistic with it.
I like your guys' numbers. He's in that low 30s, that low to mid 30s. But I think the wear and tear of playing the outfield and his first time doing it at 120, 30, 40 games, the average is going to dip a little bit. He's going to be in that 255, 265 range.
I'll buy into that.
I was saying, now last year he was on that big streak, and then end of the year he kind of, cooled down. He wasn't, because what was he, 315, 320, and he finished the year with what?
259.
259. So I think, beginning of the season's not really, hitting weather like you guys were talking about. I feel like May, June, he'll be, real hot, and then he'll probably, fizzle out a little bit just because his body's not used to, the full season yet. But eventually later in his career, I'm saying he's, 40 home runs, again and again and again. So
Yeah, should be.
That's what we hope for.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I'll go over on the home runs. I'll give him 30 on the button, and I'll go under on the average too. I'm thinking around like 265. I'll go up a little bit from last year.
Yeah.
But
See, I think the key with him is, can you play him in the outfield 4 days a week? Can he play outfield 4 days, play first base 1 day, and give him 2 days off? Or, if they have an off day that week, because you're going to have the fourth and fifth outfielders to do it. So, I don't want to necessarily say he's on a pitch count or load management or anything like that. But with him, to all of your guys' points, with running in the outfield, just watch the legs.
Yeah.
Like, if the legs get tired, sit him down. Otherwise, I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Mike Parker Hoskins, 37 homers, batting 280. All right.
Okay.
So a double.
oh, that's good.
Average over under 285. Home runs over under 15. Batted 281 last year, 14 homers.
I'm going
Best pure hitter on the baseball team.
I'm going under on homers, like 13. But average, he's so weird. Like the past 2 years, he's batting like 300, 310, and then he just fizzles out at the end of the year. Like I'll say he starts the year high again, and then he'll probably just go down like 285. I'll go over 285.
It's 280 the over under.
Or what was it? Sorry.
No, 285.
285. So you're a push.
On the button.
Okay.
Push.
I'm going over. I think he excels in this lineup because I think anywhere you put him, he's going to be a force. Whether he's batting 2, 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? However you make that lineup up,
I'd
even
put
if he's
him
batting leadoff.
Yeah.
Even if he's batting leadoff, I think he's going to tear it up. I think a younger generation type of manager is better for him. It's not that old dictarian type of Larry Boa, I'm going to, beat you with a stick because you're not doing it my way type of, run Scott rolling out of town. I'm going over to home runs. I'm going to go low to mid-20s. And I'm going I'm thinking he bats 300 this year.
Me too. I'm over both. I'm about 18 homers, and I'm right on the button on 300.
I'm under on average, not by much. I'm thinking 275 to 280, but I'm way over on homers. I think the home run production really picks up this year. I think the average drops off a little bit as a result, but I could see him going 25 to 28 homers.
He could be a 20-20-20 guy.
Really
could be.
No question about it. At least he should be.
Go ahead, Dan.
Maybe I'll change my homers. Maybe. It's a more. Like,
It's not
it's
fair
a
off,
better, it's a
Danny.
better lineup. So
He hit
so
13 he hit
people aren't
14
gonna be worried
last
about
year.
him as much. Like the past couple of years, he's been our best hitter. So I feel like people aren't going to be paying as much attention to him. So
Real quick, before you jump off or jump over, Philly 0024, do you think Dylan Cousins gets called up if he has a hot start his first 2 or 3 months, or does he get called up in September? I think the answer to that is going to be who at the major league level is not producing.
Or hurt.
Yeah, because if everybody at the major league level is producing, the guy could rake all season at AAA and not get called up until September. But if he comes out of the gate and he's hitting 285, 290, and he's still hitting homers at the pace that he does, and somebody on the major league roster is not producing or is on the DL.
Yeah, it could be.
I mean, and I could easily see a scenario, and I hope it doesn't happen, but I could easily see a scenario where Carlos Santana gets hurt, goes on the DL, they shift Hoskins from left field to first base, and a guy like Cousins comes up and plays a couple weeks in left field to get a taste of the big league action. You never know.
Here is the biggest name to me. One of the, when you talk about wanting to be successful, this name is going to be real important for that, and that's Nick Williams.
Give me some numbers, Daddy. Give them to me.
Over, under, average, I'm putting at 290 because the kid just hits. He just hits.
What's the homers? Come on. Give it to me.
25.
Over.
Okay.
Over. It's a no-brainer.
Okay.
It's a no-brainer.
Okay, he had 12 home runs in 83 games last year. So that's
It's 25.
I'm doubling it. I'm doubling it up at 25. So you guys know that, and he batted 288 last year. So just so you got his numbers for last year, when you decide, does he take a step up or does it stay around the same?
Over.
Over/under?
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it. I love it.
Big season out of Nick this year.
And why I'm saying that, he's the guy who could get you to that second wild card because he hits that much.
Every year Williams has had to play a second year at the same level, that second year has been a monster year.
Look at the guys getting all over you on here.
Who, me?
No, Dan.
Oh.
Call me Whisper McGee.
Yeah, they're taking shots. I said it's his first time on. Give him a break.
He hasn't dropped an F-bomb yet. He's in good shape.
Yeah, maybe we'll get one out of him.
Yeah, we'll get one out of him. But yeah, I think Williams, with this being year 2, I think if the needle for the team is pointed straight up, Williams has like a 3-dimensional arrow going through the ceiling. I mean, absolutely primed for a huge year. And I can't see sophomore slump with him just because of all the stuff that he's been through. Was 2 years at AA, a year and a half at AAA. This whole process of him having to spend 2 years at AA, a year at AAA, and then not making the team out of spring training the next year, and completely just keeping his foot on the gas until he basically forced them to call him up. This kid's not going to have a sophomore slump. I mean, from here he's just go.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I love this outfield, and he's one of the big reasons. I'm a huge Herrera guy, but he's another one of the big reasons. Obviously, Hoskins. You love all three of them.
Yeah.
Where are you going on it?
Oh, I'm going over.
Over.
I agree. I think it's a huge year. I think those guys that think Altair is going to play over him,
It's crazy
we're going to
talk.
start over him, is straight up crazy talk because until Altair's healthy, he's just a guy.
That's all he is.
Nick Williams is an absolute superstar.
Until Altair's healthy, he's John
waiting-
fucking Mayberry.
waiting to happen. And
All
you're
right.
absolutely right. He's just a guy.
He's John Mayberry with a little better average.
That's all.
Nick Williams can
Over.
be an absolute superstar.
Over.
Over, yeah.
What did I say? 25 over under.
Yeah.
And I'm going over. I'm putting them at. I think he hits 30, and I think he's going to bat like 295, 300. I think he has a really good year.
Mm-hmm.
To me that's a monster year for a second year kid. If he bats 300 and hits you 30 bombs.
And
but
if
I'm
he-
in agreement. He can go over that.
and
I
if
mean,
he's
this guy who
batting-
can hit 33, he can bat you 305. I mean, anywhere
He
in that.
could be a 30-30 guy.
That's what
Could
I was
be.
just getting there. If he's batting 300, hitting 30, well, you probably got 20 to 30 doubles too.
Well,
True.
I mean,
What did he hit? He
had
had
30
Stolen
stolen
base-
bases.
and stolen bases.
He had 6, so he had 6 doubles in. This is a great one, right? Well, we know he had 6. He only stole 1 base in 83 games. Now that can come with just getting more comfortable
But
base running as a
We
pro.
didn't run a lot last year.
True, but
I mean, Hernandez didn't even run.
what did he hit? No, that's his split. Sorry. Where's his doubles? 1483. So yeah, right around there, right? And he hit 4 triples in 83 games. So you can see, guy's got speed to hit 8.
Yeah.
Maybe you could see him doubling that production too. I mean, that's a hard one to double.
Yeah.
But right around there again, though.
Not in this ballpark, though.
True.
True. We got the angles.
Here's the number 2, though. 55 RBIs in 83 games. Double that up. That's 110. It's 100
Three
RBI.
hole.
It's a 100 RBI guy.
3-hole.
I mean, here's the problem that they're going to have is who do you bat third, Herrera, Williams, or Santana?
It's not even a question to me.
I think it's
because
a great problem to have.
I want to talk about lineup when we come back
come
to.
back, okay.
But yeah, I want to save that. Let's save, and we'll do the lineup when we come back. We might not even get to any other freaking stuff because it's all Phil's. But
I'm fine with that.
and that's fine too. We can touch on the stuff before we end. So we'll come back and we'll do our over-unders in terms of average and home runs we got Franco coming up. We got Crawford, Hernandez, Santana, and Alfaro. And then we'll jump to the 5 starters and just win-loss, earn-run average, over-unders.
A little lineup projection.
Yeah, lineup protection where we think guys are going to fall in. We talk about who's the 3-hole hitter, who leads off for this baseball team. Because we talk about Mike was talking about guys playing at a bunch of different spots, right foot, left foot, right, all that good stuff. Well, this same lineup's the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of guys interchangeable in spots. So all that on the other side. Tom,
Mike
AM,
in the PM.
A2DRadio.com. This segment was brought to you by Stream Smart Vinny. Listen, all the games, all the packages. You know the goddamn deal. Contact Vinny. Use the ATD promo code. All right, and you don't got to pay for. I don't know, the MLB package this
UFC,
season, all right?
nothing.
None of that shit. None of it, Greg. Tell the people. And as well as our certified public accountant. It's tax season. Make him yours. Gibson Mayer, LLC. Find him on the web, GibsonMayer.com. We'll be right back, fam.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, on A2DRadio.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
ring the bell, oil ready, tan the bean bags, tan the sacks,
Little coconuts.
tan the coconuts, whatever it is. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
88 wins right here, HUDradio.com.
I'll take it.
Live from the BMW.
I'll be happy about it.
Screw BMW of Atlantic City. We're brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make them yours.
Find them on the web.
Gibson Mayer.
Oh, God, we haven't did that one before.
Not yet.
We'll talk.
It wasn't
We'll
a bad.
talk.
It wasn't a bad first effort though.
We'll get that hammered out throughout the week. So listen, it's heavy Phillies right now, and
Yeah.
it's fun to say that because obviously everything I've said through any type of comeback in heavy Eagles,
Yeah.
and no issues there. And we'll still answer all Eagles questions if you have any. And if we have time, at the end we'll talk Sixers and Flyers. I don't know how much we're gonna have time to. We'll ramp up our Sixers talk
And
throughout
it's a
the weeks.
and it's
obviously,
a shame because both of them have been playing very well.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get him back.
but you
into
don't.
it.
And obviously Sixers on the break.
Yeah.
The All-Star break,
Yeah.
so there's no games to be played right now. So it's like, okay, we take the break off on Sixers. We're gonna have plenty of Sixers to talk about.
Yeah,
Talking about a playoff basketball team
Sure.
on the rise, the best big man in the game of basketball, and I don't give a rat's ass. You can give me anybody other name you want to give me. I don't care anymore. Okay, he is the most dominant big man that this league has seen since Shaquille O'Neal with a jumper. It's just that easy.
The only guy who's questioned is hurt, and it's Boogie.
And it's Boogie, but Boogie don't win.
But he's hurt now.
I understand.
And he was having a great year.
I understand. He's a number guy to me.
But he's not a winner.
Yeah.
Boogie
He's
to
a
me
number,
is a number guy.
He's a number, not a winner.
Joel Embiid, great change franchises. Right? They changed 11.
Yeah.
Right? 11 in green. I mean, the greats and the special ones come in and they change a culture like that. And to be able to my whole concern about the tank when it was going on was how do you flip the switch? When do these kids have to feel what it's like to go in a locker room winning games. And to be able to do that this quickly, I know we switched it up a little bit, but to be able to do that this quickly and jump win totals like that and be in talks of a playoff contention with a young team like that is an unbelievable job out of Brett Brown, even though I hate Brian Colangelo with a goddamn passion. This is no credit to Brian Colangelo.
No.
Let me make myself clear.
This guy's been here forever.
This is credit to Brett Brown, and this is a shot at the goddamn morons out here in groups and everywhere else, 20 games in, 10 games in, as of 2 weeks ago, talking about trying to cut this guy's head off and run him out of town. If you didn't learn anything from the Eagles, he's tied to this team's success. Bad organizations have change, too much change. That's why they're bad. If you want the Sixers to be great and you want this to be a special group, he's tied at the hip with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Just like Doug, I talked about, was tied with Carson before the season when we used to argue about that you want Doug to be good because if he's not, I don't know. You don't know if 11 is. Well, we know 11's going to be good regardless.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? They're tied, though. You don't want the change. And you see it. They're starting to learn a system. Well, it gives you closeouts.
Right, but that also goes hand in hand with the people who don't want LeBron. Well, they say trust the process, but they don't want LeBron. But you don't understand. Attracting a free agent like LeBron was what the fucking process was all about in the first place.
And I know you pounded that in my head for a while.
Yeah, but I don't want LeBron.
But
oh my God,
replace him with any other big name.
Listen,
it doesn't matter.
You don't get more Jordan than me. Let me clarify. Michael Jordan.
You're a fucking problem. You had to go stir it up.
Can I clarify my answer, please?
You may.
Can I clarify my answer?
Stirring it up.
The basketball player alone, LeBron, I'll take every day of the week, 35 times on Sunday. The coach killing.
Matinee.
Yeah, and a matinee.
Yeah.
The coach killing, the locker room killing, the cancer GM / part-time coach / player. I want nothing to do with that.
But here's the thing.
Agree there.
Go, Dan. Go ahead.
His whole thing, he got Cleveland big, that's his franchise. But he's not going to come here and do that. He knows this is Embiid's team. He knows this is Simmons. They're building this here. His big thing is he wants to win rings. So he should, unless.
Yeah, but to me, I understand what you're saying. To me, if I think I'm the GOAT, I'm going in there and that's my team from Jump Street, and that's the mentality that I have to have as a killer, as a GOAT, because that's what Jordan would have done. That's what Jordan did.
To me, we don't need LeBron for this process to continue to work. Will I take LeBron? No question about it.
Oh, I'm not going to be mad about it.
And I'm saying, I'm a Jordan guy, and Jordan's the greatest of all time, and there's not even a debate or an argument because your eyes can tell you that. I don't need numbers. I don't need to argue rings with people. I can just look at a guy who made everybody that much better. And there was never any of these issues, you understand? And granted, social media is different. Obviously, there wasn't any, but still, there was none of these issues. Okay, there were still beat writers. There's still people following Jordan all around. Okay, he was the most covered guy in all sports, and there was none of all the extra bullshit. Okay, and this is before Phil Jackson was a GOAT and a GOAT talk. Right? There was none of that. There was never Michael trying to do more than what Michael needed to worry about. Michael worried about practicing like a goddamn junkie, right, and betting tons of money in practice and all them things, but he always was working to get better because nothing was ever given to Jordan. That's the difference of the two. LeBron's been the king since he came out the womb. Okay, Jordan was never a fucking king. He was an overlooked guy, right? We talk about adversity and this is the whole goddamn team, right? When we talk about the Eagles, the same thing applies to Michael Jordan, and I'll fucking crush anybody in the argument ever because he's a Carson Wentz in him, a guy who, when you talk about a high school career, nobody knew who he was. Okay, and then he went to UNC, made himself into a great player, made himself from the greatest of all time. From another guy who, that as LeBron worked his tail off, nobody's disputing that, okay? But he's been God's gift to basketball since he's been 16 years old. There's a difference.
Right, but see, now, and I don't disagree with you, but I'm in Dan's boat with this one because –
well, I know. I want LeBron.
But I can actually see him coming in here and going, you know what? All I got to do is keep JoJo, Ben, and Markel on the right path, drop my 22 a night, and I'm going to get a ring.
I think he'll drop more than that. But.
Right, but I mean, just hypothetically.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I agree.
It's like if I just keep these kids on the path and drop 22 a night, I don't need to be the coach, general manager, and be-all, end-all.
Devil's advocate on the court, right? This is my devil's advocate on the court to you guys. I'm taking LeBron, okay? No issues here. But I'm just going to play devil's advocate. It is disagree radio here.
Off the court, you want nothing to do?
No.
All right.
Right? That man needs to handle the basketball, right? So now what I'm doing is to my 21-year-old puppy, my budding superstar, is I'm taking the ball out of his hands in Ben Simmons. I'm taking the ball out of his hands because LeBron needs the basketball. He's not going to play it two. He ain't going to go down low and play. So what do you do?
I'm saying put Simmons at power forward.
You can't. Can't now.
Shoot. Can't shoot.
Can't stretch it. He's got to – Simmons needs the ball in his hand because he's that special. You know what I mean? He's that special in his hand, Dan.
And that's not devil's advocate. That's real.
That's real. That's real.
You know, and
I'll take LeBron, by the way.
Well, guess what?
Say it again. I'm taking him.
Markel's also going to need the ball in his hands, too.
Yes.
Well, Markel's got to get up. Let's get Markel on the court first.
Well, you know where he's at.
We're talking next.
No. You know where he's at. Lay down for a minute. You know what I mean? We'll talk.
He's at the shrink.
Yeah, that's where he's at on the couch. That's the next video coming. I'm going to have his ass on the couch.
Real quick.
And I love Markel. I think he's going to be a pimp because we always talk about what does a guy bring to the table that translates. We talk about the Aaron Fox, speed.
Yeah.
Markel, he can score. And whatever's up here, I have to get figured out.
He could score.
But
I gotta hit something from the YouTube chat real quick.
Yeah.
I need you guys to follow this for a second. It was questionable when I started reading it. Foolish Demon says St. Louis baseball, Philly football, Vegas hockey, Portland NBA, Sooners NCAA football. So I'm starting to think there's an identity crisis here. And then he says, and I want Lindsey Vonn to grab my ski pole. All right, redemption.
Well, I know from last
you totally redeemed yourself.
Redemption.
He's from the Portland area, so
All
I get the Trailblazers.
Okay. And he's a Birds fan, right?
Everything else.
Foolish. Foolish is a Birds fan, right?
And then SJM86 says, yo.
Whatever. I love it.
Yeah.
Still fam. You know what I mean? You're in my.
And he's always in.
Oh,
yeah.
He's part of the fam.
Yeah.
SJM86, yo, the whole crew up in this mother.
What up?
And then Jimmy Chonga says, the Wentz news has made me a nervous wreck. And SJM86 says, relax, Jimmy, it's all good.
Hit some of that chunga.
And then there's a whole lot of talk about Lindsey Vonn and certain
Poles?
body parts of hers.
Lee Wyoming about to
That's
deliver.
one thing. Regardless of where Foolish Demon
Nobody knows
resides,
that name.
and that's one thing we all can agree on. Is Lindsey Vonn
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, we can all agree on the Birds.
and the Birds?
Yep.
Yeah.
And listen, he's such a loyal freaking listener to the A2D freaking platform that we can agree on everything.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, SJM86 says, Bron, ringing the Liberty Bell. Line it up, set it up, get him a cheesesteak. Bron wants young, hungry, elite talent. Who better than the Sixers?
No, that's an agreement.
When has he ever had a legit big man? Like, that would take so much
ran him
pressure
out of
off him.
town.
Who?
What?
No, I was just saying he ran everybody good out of town for all his own guys. I mean, he could be sitting there with Wiggins right now, realistically, but he wouldn't need to go out and get Kevin Love.
Well, this is.
I think Wiggins is overrated.
And
that's
Tom,
for another day.
Tom, to your point, they says Simmons and Braun can both facilitate. Simmons will learn more from Braun on how to take the court over, pulling up shots.
No, that's a lie.
You can already do that.
Fair enough. Simmons needs to score more. No hate, love him, but he can score, just needs to.
Yeah, but he needs the ball, dude. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's going to lock okay, how many minutes? You're talking about a guy who's going to lock 36 minutes a night in Ben Simmons. Now we're splitting balls? How's he splitting the ball and staying on the court? Somebody tell me how Ben Simmons, without the ball in his fucking hands, stays on the court. And I'll fucking wait.
All right, put your headset back on. We're talking Phillies.
I had to play it dramatically.
It's baseball
It'd be
season.
dramatic.
I gave you a 5 count there, you know?
I was like, how long am I going to hold on to this?
2002, 2003.
And I want LeBron, but like that's crazy. You can't. Ben Simmons has showed you nothing to prove that he can play off the ball yet. So to say just like, oh, okay, it's not NBA 2K. No. It's just real life. You're dealing with a real human being. So you got to look at it like what's best.
And who you've groomed for this role.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you talk about
so you want him. What's your plan? Like, if you
Bron can't touch the ball. That's the plan. If he wants to play here, he's got to know that,
he's
okay,
play off the ball.
You got to play off the ball.
He's got to play the 3.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Got to play the 3. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying don't give me the argument that they can split the ball because that can't happen. This is Ben Simmons' offensively ran basketball team, okay? And no 35-year-old, I don't care the GOAT or not, 36 at the time, is going to come in here and take the ball out of his hands. That's just not happening for my young basketball team. But what can happen is play the 3.
Well, here's the thing.
Play second fiddle.
Take the personalities out of it for a second and just look at a lineup of Embiid, Saric at the 4, LeBron at the 3, Redick at 2, and Ben at the point.
Oh. Yeah. We're going to all-star now. We might put up 150, man.
I was going to say 125 a night.
125 a
We're
night.
getting Egg McMuffins.
I love them, too. They're delicious. Did we just become best friends?
Yup. You want to do karate in the garage?
Yup. Mike Parker said all over the place. But no, I mean.
That's how we roll.
But no,
Are you new?
And he's crying. He's crying over
Mike?
it. And I had a little tear.
Yeah.
But
that's
that's the thing. He
that's
can't.
sweat.
Yeah,
it's 75 degrees outside tonight.
You can't say that argument in the case. But if you bring him in to run the 3 and he's a great, best player in the league, I'm not taking him. But he's got to be under an understanding of listen. This is these kids' team.
Yeah.
They're the ones who were a playoff team last year. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who developed. You got the big man who's the best big man in basketball. I mean, you're not coming in. It ain't your team. I don't care. Not at this point in the career. Not at 36.
Yeah.
Okay, he's coming in here at 30. Well, okay.
Yeah.
You know whose team it is. At the downside of it's not the downside because he's still the best player in the game. But at this point of his career, he's not going to come in and have the same success for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Brady of basketball. It's just not realistic. It's too much on the body.
It's almost as if, and it's a name we talked about. Klay Thompson is a better signing. Kevin Durant is a better attraction from a superstar standpoint. Not that they're better, but it's both those guys play off the ball would be more of a better.
I'll take Durant over LeBron.
I would too.
That's not even
easily,
for the fit too. For the fit.
Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying.
I want killers. That's the difference. That's Jordan.
Straight up.
The difference between Jordan and LeBron
Durant,
is killer.
The whole snake thing, he's a snake, but you just watch him, dude. He's he's filthy.
Yeah,
bro. When you get there's a couple of Twitter handles that will stick out to you, and they're real talk, right? And one's Cut on Dimes 25,
yeah,
because that's what he does, and the other one was Easy Money Sniper, and that was Durant at one point. Well, yeah, that's who he is. He's the Easy Money Sniper. He's a killer, and the killers win rings too. And he finally, around enough guys where in the way the league's set up that he could go get one. And he carried that basketball team in the finals last year. He really did. He was hungry to get it.
Greg, here you go. So Foolish Demon says, I'm from Portland, picked all my teams when I was 12 years old. We only have one team.
Yeah.
Also lived in Vegas for 6 years. Tremendous respect for all the Philly teams. And then SJM says, Effing Tom, I know, man, easy, I'm with you. ROLF, drop the headset, love it. So much room for activities. And then he says, so much room for activities.
It's not a power saw. Yeah. It's a toothbrush.
Braun has to play the 3 if he comes to Philly, no doubt.
Yep.
And then Foolish Demon says, I'm a LeBron fan, but if he goes to the Lakers, I'm done.
He's not going to go there.
No, not with LeVar. So let's get this last NBA out for you guys, and then we'll go back to over unders for the Phils, because my boy Lenny chiming in Lenny Robinson, and he's got to go on. He's like, sorry, checked out for 4 minutes, bedtime with the kid. But he goes, have you lost all hope for Fultz? Stan, let me start with you and let's circle.
No. I mean, it's such a weird situation. Like, I've never, like, seen anything like it, but you don't just lose your scoring ability out of nowhere. Like, the kid scores in his sleep. So, I mean, people making fun of him now, I don't want to see them up his ass next year. I'm standing behind him.
All hope, no. Have I lost some hope? Yes. We know I was not the Markel guy. Now, when you traded up to 1, you had to become a Markel guy because that was the move. I was a Jackson guy. I would stay at 3, pick Jackson, Tatum, one of those guys. I think that mental is really real. You know what I mean? To say somebody just lost the way to throw. Roy Halladay lost the way to pitch like that. Mm-hmm. Cliff Lee lost how to pitch like that. Chuck Knobloch all of a sudden lost how to throw from second base like that. I mean, so the mental side is a real issue.
No, it is.
Nelson Aguilar for out of catch.
I was just about to say that. Like,
can you get out of it? Can you get out of it? Sure. But so all hope, no. Have I lost a lot? Yes. I'm concerned.
It's worrisome, but he's going to get it figured out. I'm confident. The way Brett's developed Ben and especially Embiid. Embiid didn't have a 3-point shot when he came. Like, his handle, like, he's just like Brett really developed him over the 2 years. I know Markel's not going to be out for 2 years, but still, Brett's a good development guy.
Another player development guy.
Yeah.
Hence Gabe Kapler, we're going to go to back in a sec.
No. All hope, no. I would say even some hope, no. But I think if they're being honest with us and they're being honest with the kid, and you know where I'm going with this because I see it in your eyes, just fucking tell us he's not going to play this year.
Yeah.
And then send the kid home for a month. Tell him come back after the season's over, and you're going to do the summer league again, and we're just going to start this thing all over again.
I don't want to make him feel excluded or nothing. He's part of the team. Like,
no, you're right.
You're
right, but does being around the team and not being able to contribute at this point do more harm than good? Because if it's all mental, send him on vacation. Because we saw what he could do last year during the summer league.
Send him to University of Louisville. They got good perks.
Apparently so. But, I mean, the kid could flat out shoot it, and he was a scorer last year in the summer league. So if you have to say, you know what, Markel, this year's a wash, go home, relax, enjoy yourself, take a little vacation. You come back here, we'll do the summer league, we'll start this thing all over again. Next year you're our guy. I got no issue with that at all. But for me right now, the bad guy in this whole situation with Markel was Brian Colangelo.
No, yeah, because he's a piece of shit.
That dude sucks.
Me, hope, no. Because I'm not going to run from this guy. I'm not going to run from the assessment that I had. I'm not going to run from the ability that he has to score the basketball. I'm going to put the faith that I had, the same faith I had in Nelson, where my eyes, what I saw from the kid are real. Like, he can score.
Yeah.
And what we saw in summer league, like Mike said, he can score the basketball. Something happened. And it could be part of the injury, like Sweeps mentioned, where he just thought it doesn't hurt anymore, but it just screwed up his head. And that's where it came from. And I like that assessment a lot, and I could buy into that assessment, that it doesn't hurt anymore, but from it hurting, he still thinks about it.
You adjusted something.
Because when I noticed, when he's smooth and moving, it's smooth. The only time it ever happens is the free throw, where it kind of a little giddy up now. The more he moves, it's smoother. But, no, I've not. I think the kid can walk in the league and drop 20. I said it from day one. That's why you go one up and go get him. And with the guys around him that have redshirted a year, like Peter Albertson said, he said, I feel like everybody redshirts. Well, it's redshirt you here. And it's been successful for the other two, and I think it will be for him too.
Well, it's like the old joke. Like, I went to the doctor, and I said, Doc, it hurts when I go like this. And the doctor says, well, don't go like that. Well, if he knows it hurts when he does this, maybe he's not going to do this and not know that it doesn't hurt anymore. You just got to get your mechanics back and not to the point where you're not thinking about it, because that's what it is. You're spot on. Is he knows that at one point coming here hurt, so he doesn't do it. And right now it doesn't hurt anymore, but he just won't go back to it.
No, and somebody said in here, I think it was Bob Hartman, said to Lenny, Aguilar needs to give him his girl, and I'm because that is a smoke, a shizzle.
Can we give him Jordan Matthews' shrink and Nelson Aguilar's girl, and between the two,
you're winning. You're winning. So let's go back to the Phils, okay? Because our poll question, if you're just joining us, is just where do they land win-loss? Where do you project them? And under 70, just go away. 70, 75, 80 to 89, 90 plus, and 70 or under, go away. We're not going to bring the negativity in here. We're a city of believing now, baby, and that ain't going to change now. Let's keep believing, keep the faith. So we left with the outfield. Let's jump right in the infield. I'm going to save third base for last, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to start us right behind the dish, okay? And I'm going to start with another guy who can flat out rake. Now, what's his defense going to be like is a different question, but we can flat out rake. So Jorge Alfaro, boys, okay? Average. Over, under.
Well, hold on. Before you go there, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are we wrong to assume at this point that he's a starting catcher for this team this year?
No, because he is.
Don't give me that shit with Rupp.
No. I agree with you. I just don't know if they are as completely sold as we are.
They better be. I can't stand watching Cameron Rupp.
Well,
would it be Knapp though, or no?
I
don't think it would be.
I like Knapp over Rupp.
I think it would be Rupp over Knapp.
Well, they just re-signed Rupp to a new deal, so
they're going to split it.
I forgot about that.
It's got to be. I mean, it's
well. Was it a new deal or was it just arbitration?
No, it was a 2-year deal.
Okay, so
I think ideally,
I have no problem with him as my backup catcher.
I think ideally,
no problem.
right? And I think ideally, what they're looking at is because Knapp has options left, Alfaro doesn't.
So does actually Cameron Rupp too.
Yeah, correct.
Who struggled.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I think
a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, I think ideally they're looking at Alfaro starts and Rupp is the backup. Knapp goes down to AAA, catches every day, and then if something happens to one of the other guys, he comes up and he's the starter.
So let's say for sake of argument, he plays 90 games behind the dish.
Who are we talking about?
Alfaro.
Rupp or Alfaro? I mean, that's
over.
I think
that's over the 50-50 split.
I think he's got to go more than that. I mean,
if he's your starter, he's got to be over 100 plus.
He's probably 110.
No, I'm saying that because of your thing on him was defensively. Right. That's why I'm saying 90.
Well, and that's why I'm asking the question.
And I think to your point, him out of options to me means you're the guy.
120, let's go.
Guy.
Yeah, 120, let's go.
125.
Let's go.
You're catching 5 days out of the week. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's
what I wanted to be.
And the only
then
I went Dan in that one.
Your DH, Rupp's catching.
Right, and the reason that I asked the question is, are we certain that he's going to be the starter? Isn't because of the offensive ability. It's, has he Has he taken those strides behind the dish?
Because he's a hot mess.
He was.
He was.
But now I expect that to be a lot better. I mean, this is an all season of working with some guys, an all season with big league guys. We talked about my argument about bringing kids up with getting around big league coaches, right? Not around.
I still think they need to go out and find somebody with the last name of Molina and just hire him.
You also have to think, too, last year.
Anybody. Just John Molina, doesn't it?
He missed a lot of camp because he was playing with
Venezuela?
Last year. Colombia
okay.
national team in the World Baseball Classic. So
they're all 24, you notice that?
He missed a lot of coaching time that happens with a guy as advanced as he. He stays in the camp real long. You know what I mean? And
me too. I'm so excited. Me too. I can't wait. No, you're right. So that matters. That affects you. And
oh my God, this is hilarious.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead. I got to get you this one though.
Go ahead. No, shoot it.
SJM86, Cameron Rupp is atrocious. Jesus, give me Sal Fasano over Rupp. Comment of the night right there.
Screenshot that
Sal's pals.
Sal's pals. What was it? Fasano's Paisanos with the pizzas.
Jesus God. Okay,
all right, so hit us with some numbers.
His average. Now, listen, he batted 318 last year, okay? I'm going to put his over-under at 300 because now you're going to log a lot more baseball games, okay? And we have to be fair about that. You're talking about a guy who had 107 at-bats last year. If you're jacking that up to 400, fairly, you can't expect 318.
No.
So I'll go to 300 because I think that's who he is. I think that's one thing he does well is he hits. I'll put his home runs around. We're saying he plays 120, okay? He's all 120 base. I'll get, let's say, over under 20. Over under average, 300.
I'd go under on the average, like somewhere 280s, 290s. I'll go over on the homers, though.
Over on the homers.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think he'll be more comfortable. He has more playing time this year. So, how many did he hit last year? Didn't he like 2 or?
He has 5.
5, okay. I think he'll be more comfortable and he'll know his role. So I'll say 25, something.
Yeah, he only played 29 games. So.
Yeah. Wait, what's our over/under on homers?
22.
20.
Or 20.
20.
I'm going under.
Okay.
I was sitting there thinking during the break, if we go over on everybody, this is not an 80. It's just not an 80-89 win team. This is a 95+ win team. But I think one of these guys.
No, because we haven't got to the rotation.
Well, this is true.
No, it hasn't.
It just makes them an American League team.
But I think playing on a regular basis is going to be good, but a detrimental to his personal stats. I think it's be good for the team because you're going to have stability back there. I'm in the 15 to 20 range, so I'm under on the home runs, and I'm the 275 to 280 range on the average. Just because you're right, you're gonna play a lot more. You're gonna go through a little bit more of a slump. As good as Odubel was when he dropped all the way down to like 200. It didn't matter what he did to get back to 280 because he had to tear the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
So that's what he might go through a slump to where he's not playing. So I'm going under for Alfaro.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna go 295, and I'm gonna push on the homers at 20.
I'm going under, but not by much on either. I think it's a solid season. I think the numbers might be the goals might be a little lofty.
Mike Parker, 278, 28 dingers, and 115. All right.
I take it.
115 RBIs out of your catchers.
No, in 115 games.
Right.
Oh, 115 games.
Okay.
278, 28 homers.
All right.
But if he's hit 28 homers, he's around 100.
It was around 100.
90 to
You
100.
go 115 out of a catcher. That's a big number.
Lenny's got 290, 29 bombs, 102 RBIs, and 112 games.
Wow.
Woo!
I think it's fair.
And he said we're going to lose a lot of 10-8
Whoa.
games.
102 RBIs in 112 games.
He's got him flat out raking.
That's a huge
Well, if he's
number.
going over, then he's going to be raking.
Peter Albertson's got 315, 23 homers in 124 games. These guys got them raking, Alfaro raking. I love it.
I love it.
I
wish he does.
I hope he does. I really do. I hope he does in that small sample size. Okay, let's go first base. Let's go one Mr. Carlos Santana.
The guitar player?
Carlos Santana, forget about batting average. Just give on-base percentage. Is his on-base percentage above or high-low 390?
It's funny. When I was last in L.A., we were watching the National Championship game. I was with a guy from Cleveland watching at the Outback, and he goes, "You guys are going to become very frustrated with Carlos Santana." And I go, "Why?" He's like, "Because he's going to come up in a big spot and he's going to walk."
and leave it for
somebody else.
And leave it for Reese Hoskins.
And he's like, he's gonna be in the right spot at the right time, and he's gonna walk. And I go,
better than striking out.
I can see that happening.
All
You're
right.
right, yeah.
Pat Barrel. Right?
So
That's what Pat started doing.
yeah,
we just walk all the time.
Yeah, he walked all the time. So Santana, let's go.
Well, here's the thing, though. Pat Burrell walking all the time made Jason Worth a $100 millionaire.
yeah.
Ain't that the truth? That's why I got the Clydesdale.
Yep.
Jay Worth.
All right, so
splurged.
Carlos Santana, where are you going?
Over under average. Let's go 265. Okay, remember, guy's a career 249 hitter. Home runs. I'm going to put home runs at 28. He had 23 last year in a very good lineup as well. So remember that. Very good lineup. So
Over, under.
over on average.
Over average, under on homers.
I'll go a little bit under on average, like low 260s, and then under on homers too. I'm saying like 25 too.
25. Greg?
I'm going over. I think he
What did I
has
put the average at? 265?
265.
Okay.
I think he has a really monster year here. I think that, not that he minded Cleveland because that's where he grew up. As a professional, but I think coming into this team, this young team of a bunch of hungry dogs,
Refreshes you.
You know what I mean? He's got a guy like all the reports say like Maikel Franco like chomping at the bit to talk to him.
Yeah, it's huge.
Now he's got all these guys that he could share this hitting knowledge with.
And what
Because the
is-
Duke is
and what
flat
starts
out
happening when you
rake.
start sharing a ton of hitting knowledge?
Duke is flat out rake, and he's not having to worry about catching anymore. He's going to be playing first base. Right field's a nice, easy porch for him. I'm going over.
Me too. So I'm going like 270 average out of him, which is where I was going to initially put it at 270, and I'm going over home runs. I think he gets 30. That's a 7-homer jump from last year. there's going to be more in that position on this team that have to drive some more balls. But his on-base percentage is going to be great because that's what he does. That's going to be filthy, and that's going to be the big game changer you see out of him. So let's get to I know our boy, one Mr. Hernandez. Let's go over-under average. I'm going to put him right at last year on over-under average. 294 is the over-under on the average. Let's go over-under doubles, okay, because he's not a home run guy. Guy who had 26 doubles last year, I'm going to put the over-under at the same thing. 26, and he only played 128 last year games. Actually, no, I'm going to put it at 30. 30 is a fair number. 30. 30 on doubles and 294 on average, Hernandez.
I'll go over on the average. I think he should be the leadoff hitter. I think he has a big year. I mean, I don't know because I know Kingery's like right behind him, so you might feel like he has to. I don't know.
Rake.
But, yeah.
And that's one way to keep a kid off you.
Yeah. And then doubles, I'll go 30. I'll right there, right on the dot.
So he's pushing over. I'm going over. I love Cesar Hernandez.
Me too.
I have loved him for a long time. As much as I and everybody in the city loves Chase Utley, I think we hung on a year too long for him because this guy is there and he's ready. And it kind of almost feels like the same thing with Kingery right now. And it's tough to say that because Hernandez is nowhere near like the age and the part of the game where Utley was. You know what I mean? Hernandez is still 26, 27.
27, thank you.
I mean, he's still a pup. And
yeah.
I think he's a 300 hitter, 305.
28.
And
in May.
okay. And yeah, I'm going over doubles. I mean, I think you're right, Dan. He's either my leadoff or my 2-hole hitter, and I just think he hits gaps and just runs.
I'm over on both.
I'm slightly under on average, over on doubles.
All right, let's get to this.
I also think he hits double figures and homers this year too.
Oh, I could say he hit 9 last year,
Which should be up,
123
yeah.
sample size. So yeah, let's get to the pop. The man we've been waiting for, boys, and he gets to go back to short where he's comfortable, and not that he didn't play a great third base because he freaking did. Okay, but you just saw a little sample of how good this kid is defensively. Now he goes to shortstop, and our number one prospect in our organization. A big part of the future of this baseball team. And where do you win at in the big league level? Well, you better win up the goddamn middle. And we're winning at second base because he's a good one. So, J.P. Crawford. And this is a tough one because this sample size comes from nothing, right? There's nothing to judge off at the big league level, besides, I believe, 70 at-bats, which is nothing. But didn't hit well. But it's hard to hit better as it went on. Came up, struggled early on. You expect it. So, I'm going to put the average over-under at 265.
I think that's spot on, actually.
Yeah.
He's going to be a real high on base guy, but he's not going to be a real high average guy. So I think your over-under at 265 is spot on.
Let's go doubles with him again, too.
There you go.
Okay. And let's put the doubles at 15.
Over on doubles.
I'm being fair with the kid early on here. He's not one of the kids that you look at and you say flat out consistently rakes like the others.
Yeah.
To me, his glove brings a lot more. Will bring his glove's still not there completely, but at shortstop, at least that was some things that they said down low. From what we saw, the big league level, I don't know what anybody was talking about. So his glove's a big part of it, and I think that the things he does to play, like Mike said, his on base percentage. Guy sees a lot of pitches. He does more than just what's going to show up in the everyday box score. So you're going over on both.
Over on doubles. What was the average?
265.
265.
A little bit under.
A little bit under.
What's the doubles number? I'm sorry.
15. So where are you going?
I'm going. Crawford, I think this year is going to have a very Dansby Swanson like year last year. He's going to struggle at times, but he's going to show flashes, especially defensively, that he belongs. Just the hitting is going to come along. I'm going well under on the batting average. I think he's only about 220, 230 hitter. But I'm going to go over on the doubles. Because I think the one thing is when he does drive the ball, he's going to drive gaps. And the kid can run.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go under on the average, over on the doubles.
Fair.
Same boat as Greg, but I'm not dropping the average down that low. I'm thinking the average is 245, 250. I think the doubles are way over. One thing I do see is this kid's probably going to bat out of the 8-hole, and I think he's going to see
That's where he should.
Right, and I see it. I see the kid taking tons of pitches and working a ton of walks to try to get that pitcher to sacrifice bunt and turn that lineup over.
I got him 260, and I'll go over on the doubles.
Who you put in the 2-hole?
Well, we'll get to that in one sec.
We're going there.
All right.
Brian Daly got Phil 70, 79 wins this year.
Come on, Bry. One
Come on,
more.
Bry. Mike Parker, and I think he's talking about Hernandez, 303, 30 doubles, 10 triples. Lenny says 300, 25 doubles. Getting back to them. Peter Albertson, Santana is a hitter's park, 280, 30 homers, and 110. There's some guys I missed there. So now we got Crawford out of the way. So now let's move to third base. And a key part of some success this year is going to be this man. Yeah. And that's Maikel Franco, boys. And his numbers from last year, 230, obviously not good enough, but the home runs were 24. So let's go home runs over under 25, average over under 250. Go.
Over, but not by much on either.
Over.
I actually think over too. I think Santana is going to be huge for him mentally, and if he's just trimmed and slimmed up as people say he is in camp, and he looks better, over.
Pretty much what he just said. I think Santana is going to really help him. Yeah, I'm going over too.
Stamp agreement. Over.
Hashtag.
We're not going to get into pictures because there's not enough time to go through all.
Still does not stop me from signing Machado.
No, not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So we want to do lineup projections then?
Yeah, I want to go lineup projections. I got one right in my head, so I'll spit it because I know exactly where I'm going with it.
Go ahead.
I've been thinking about it too long. Hold on, let me go back. This is make sure I see everybody. Herrera's my leadoff guy.
Yeah.
Adubel leads off for me. He handles the bat the best, in my opinion. He sees more pitches than Hernandez sees, but I'm okay either or. I'm okay with that being swapped out. But either way, they are 1-2 in whatever order you want to put them at. I'm okay with. But they are your 1-2. To me, Williams bats in the 3-hole. That's just where he is. He's that's where you want your best hitter. I think he's your best pure hitter in this lineup. Santana's going to bat 4 for you just because he's Santana. That's why you went out and got him to bat 4. Hoskins is 5. To me, this is an interesting one, but I think Franco's going to end up batting 6, and I think Alfaro and Crawford are going to round you out. Anybody got anything different than that?
I do, actually. I'm kind of – I know I'm probably taking a little bit of a gamble here, but I actually juggled up quite a bit. I'm going Hernandez 1, Santana 2, Williams 3, Hoskins 4, Herrera 5, Alfaro 6, Franco 7, Crawford 8.
Not crazy.
The interesting thing about this lineup, and I'm with you, Tom.
Because they're interchangeable. With
a lot of them are, yeah.
I'm with you, Tom. Although I flip it. I go Herrera.
Oh, no, you go Hernandez.
I go Hernandez, Herrera.
And that's fine. I'm not against that.
And but you're right. One day there's the other. One day it's 6-1, half dozen other.
They're both 300 guys.
But
that's what you want up there. To get on base, that's 300 guys. That's what you want up there.
You could legitimately set a lineup to where Rhys Hoskins is your 2-hole hitter.
Yeah.
Well, I had Santana as my 2-hole hitter.
Yeah, you can. Day to day. Day to day.
Yeah, Carlos Santana is a 2-hole hitter. I mean, that's a legitimate option and thought process with this lineup.
Because they're on-base guys.
Because you're right. They're on-base guys, and your top 6 are interchangeable,
Because could be a week where you got Hoskins and, say, Alfaro flat-out raking, right? And you sort of want to have them 3-4, and you want to bump maybe Santana, like Mike said, up into the 2 and interchange some things.
I'm sorry,
like
top 5 are probably interchangeable.
Right, and that's right. And I had Herrera at 5. But on any given day, you could take him from 5 up to 1 and just bump everybody back a slide.
Williams could lead off for you at times. I mean,
what?
Crawford could lead off
honestly,
for you at times.
I would love to see Nick Williams get a shot as a leadoff hitter at some point. I just don't know if it's this year.
I just think he hits for too much power to even need him up there. That's where the difference is. If he had like a guy who hit you like 10 to 15 home runs, I'll definitely put him up there, no question, because of his average. But this team, you're in a benefit where you got all. You don't have to even talk about it yet.
I mean, I'm probably wrong here, but I had Santana 5. I mean, maybe it's a little.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Nothing wrong, no.
So we went.
So what's your lineup?
Williams, Hoskins, Santana.
Yeah.
Or you went Hoskins, Williams, Santana.
No, I went.
Okay, so go ahead. Go
Williams, Hoskins, Santana, 3, 4, 5.
What's your? Give us your 1 through 8.
Hernandez, Herrera, Williams, Hoskins, Santana. Depending on who's hot, I'd switch Franco and Alfaro. Depending on who's hot.
Perfectly logical.
Yeah.
Crawford 8.
Yeah, we're all in the same.
Yeah.
We're all in the same park. You know, and there's not a lineup you're really
Yeah,
going to toss
I
out
think
to
we
me
all
that
started tanning our beanbags too. So that's why we're all there.
Well,
Yeah, we did.
where are you?
I'm
He's
right,
right
I'm
here.
right with Tom.
Exact same thing? Okay.
Just flip.
Surprise.
I just put Hernandez.
Surprise! I'm rubbing off on him.
Imagine
But
that.
I mean that's the thing. Like you can lead off Hernandez. I have no problem with that. The two are just the 1-2s.
And actually, producer Rob Povey on the 1s and 2s with such a high on base Santana in the 2-hole question mark, and that's why I had him there, Robbie. I could totally buy into Santana as a 2-hole hitter.
But this is why you don't need to though. Like I'm agreement. You know what I mean? Like I have no issue. But Herrera's got great on base too.
Yeah.
You know, and he's got a better average. So you're almost looking like, okay, he might even get on a little bit more than him, and he's got more speed. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like if Kapler's trying to run more and do things like that, then that might be his lineup. If he's trying to manufacture little things like that, you can see Santana up there.
Yeah.
But that's a great thing. It's 162, you know, and I think that they're innovative here that they don't have to get tied in to the old school way of like, yo, this is the lineup 1 through 8. This is how we're running the whole year.
These guys get on base.
And
This
I think
guy's my
that's
home
great.
run guy.
Yeah, I think that's what's great. And I think that's actually a little old school-ish in a way where you have all these guys who can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Well, breaking news from the Wells Fargo Center: Villanova 93, DePaul 62.
Michael Bridges. Man.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. Villanova wins the first half 40-36, in the second half 47-32. It's literally just two halves the exact same thing. Dan, to your point, Michael Bridges continues to make a push for the top 10 in that draft next year. 27 points in 33 minutes. Kid's turning himself into a player.
I want him with that Laker pick.
So, boys,
That'd be
we
nice.
got 5 minutes.
That'd be nice.
All right? 5 minutes. We can go through arms and do it, or we can go run through flyers, or we just say flyers
Let's
and
run through the
finish the
Flyers
arms.
real quick. We just got some news. You know what I mean? We could we'll talk real fast.
Yeah, I mean they're 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. 22-8-3 since they ended a 10-game losing streak in early December. And
now
70 points, third place.
Now it's 7-1-2 in the last 10.
Oh yeah, because
They
they
won
They
last
won last
night.
night.
72 points.
forgot that this was Tuesday.
Yeah, my bad.
you're
I
good.
should have given you the heads up on that.
But I think that
That's fine.
win last night is a big win. Losing Simmer, at the last minute that you did.
Well, that was a little strange too, because we all talked about Monday night the notifications come out that Stolars gets activated and sent down, and you're like, okay, he got activated. They only have one healthy goalie, and he got sent down. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 15 minutes later, they announced the trade.
Yeah.
But the backside of that was that they recalled Oscar Lindblom. And you're like, well, okay, so they recalled Lindblom. Like, what the hell's going on? And then it's announced the next morning that Simmons is out 2 to 3 weeks, and you're just like, shit. Like, great, you went out and you got a starting goalie, but what are you going to do without Simmons for 3 weeks?
Yeah.
So
Daniel
to
Bakley said
to your point,
Konecny get hurt? Daniel
and-
Bakley said.
and
Any news on Konecny
Konecny
injury?
got hurt at the end of the game last night, missed practice today. They were actually skating Taylor Lear with the first line.
Oh boy.
But here's the thing, and Dan and I talked about this a little bit off the air. Lindblom showed up last night and did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was real aggressive. Now, is it going to translate? Personally, I think so. I think he's actually going to be better in the NHL game than he was in the minors. So if they can hold the fort offensively, it all then comes back to what we were talking about was, the goaltending situation. Like, is Mrazek the real deal? Which I'm sure you guys will get into a lot tomorrow night on Hockey Happy Hour. But, is Mrazek the real deal? And if he's not, can you rely on Alex Lyon?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm just and everything.
Here's the way. I was talking to a couple guys that worked about this today. This was the
Flyers
pseudo.
talk.
This was the pseudo. Let's make a move deal.
Right.
Because you didn't give up much.
Right.
You gave up a conditional pick, depending on how we do, and then the second pick is if we re-sign him.
Right.
Which I don't think happens. But it's not like you went out and you got this stud. You got a very good goaltender. Guy that could definitely hold the fort day in and day out. But you're like, all right, you guys are overachieving. So Hextall's like, I'm going to go make a move to make a move to see what happens. You guys did your job. You put yourselves in a position. I'm going to supplement you, but I'm not going to risk everything that we've built, and let's make a move, and let's see if this does translate and and allows us to make a run.
They needed to get a goaltender, though.
Yeah.
I mean, because realistically, if they were going to send Stolars down, they were going to have Dustin Tokarski backing up Alex Lyon.
Some great knowledge right there.
In the middle of a playoff
I have
push.
no idea. I have no idea who that is.
Tokarski was, Robbie, what was he? LA's backup? Yeah, so he was a backup in LA for a while.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the fact that no one knew his name
Is the exact point.
is the exact point, exactly.
Danny,
So-
what you got?
Flyers.
Oh, you with me?
I'm not like a huge hockey guy. I mean, like
Me
I know like the common, but like I'm not like can't sit here and write a lot like these.
Oh, we're two peas in a pot. Like, I know who's on the Flyers.
Yeah, but
Like,
I've-
I watch the games, but I can't sit here and like.
If we roll this over to the Sixers, though, you two will go nuts. So.
Yeah.
I mean, but listen, they're playing great hockey.
They are.
And
Yeah.
from where we were 2 months ago, and we're
Yep.
talking about trading everybody and stripping C's and A, B, C, and D, right? And everything comes after it. Credit to the Giroux, and credit to the young kids
we were
that
firing Hackstall.
Yeah, but credit to the young kids
Giroux's?
who have taken next steps, like
Yeah.
Konechny.
Oh, Konechny's
to be able to put him on the
fire.
first line and him be successful is huge. And it's finally a team that can they can skate. Listen, it's better to watch. And
no one Patrick has been sick. Too.
Yeah, and you talk about Voracek saying, "Man, we're here to win the cup." You know what I mean? I saw that quote. Like, we're here to win the Stanley Cup. And now you start believing that shit. You know what I mean? And then next thing we know, we're all fucking broad again. And if we're just broad it up. You know what I mean? We got so many broads.
Can they sell tickets on Broad Street? Like, we're just gonna sit here every day.
Well, it's crazy, and I think James Wilder posted it in one of the groups earlier today. But was it the Flyers haven't been shorthanded in over 3 games? They've taken penalties, but they've been coincidental miters.
Oh, yeah, resident Canadian.
Majors for fighting, stuff like that. But imagine that. The quote-unquote Broad Street bullies playing disciplined hockey and staying out of the penalty box. And that's why they're winning games.
It translates.
Yeah.
So Mike Parker said skiing half-pipe. USA just went monstrous. Have a good night. Later, fellas. Later, Mike.
Later, Mike.
See you, Mike.
Later, boys. So, listen, we're signing off. Fun one.
That was
so
fun.
That's a
Lot of fun.
lot of
And
fills.
now that we're into February, there are going to be a lot more fills, too.
A lot more Phils, a lot more Sixers, some Flyers.
Yeah, we'll sprinkle it in. Absolutely.
We'll see Danny back at some point soon.
Yep.
You schedule some days off.
Job.
You know what I mean? Come back.
Thank you.
Thanks for jumping on, brother.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. You see some articles will be thrown out. I'm sure a ton of Sixers stuff coming up.
No doubt.
With Dan, huge Sixers guy. We thank you.
Go get your taxes
The
done.
people. Get your taxes done. Thank Gibson Mayer LLC for
Yep.
sponsoring us every Wednesday night. Find them on the web, gibsonmayer.com. Stream Smart Vinny, Scanzano Sports, BMW of Atlantic City. The list goes on. And to our Phil's fam out there coming in hot. You help drive it, baby.
Love it.
Listen, playoff team, the city of winners. For an audition of Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
HDRadio.com. For Tom Renault, Michael Matarak, Greg Milwakovic, Dan McGuckin, Rob Hogan on the 1s and 2s, and y'all, we love you. We out. And you get a lazy booking tomorrow night, 7:30 for your wrestling for gazes, and hockey happy hour at
Listen, brother.
9:45.
Don't make me come over there.
We out.